Oh, and we've got issues. Ty Dillon, Regan Smith. We saw Ty Dillon get into Regan Smith on a restart. The discussion hasn't gone well.
Three just dumped me. Exactly the reason why I'm leaving RCR, because you got those kids coming up and they got no respect for what they do in this sport, and they've had everything fed to them with a spoon. So I cut him slack all day, and he just dive bombs me in there, dumps me. So just got to thank all these Anderson Syrup guys for everything that they do. It's a shame you got to get taken out by some rich kid like that.
It was just hard racing there, and we definitely had a faster car, and he was kind of hogging the bottom. And I just kept diving to the inside, and as you can see there, I was low, and he kept chopping down. So it's getting down to the end of the race, and I gave him a tap, and he got sideways. Then he hit the brakes to try and brake check me in the middle of the corner, and the 88 hit me and just finished him off. I can't believe that kind of happened. That stunk, the wreck part, but to tear a truck up after the race and totally take us out of the race, and then not to stick around after the race to walk off. Not even want to say anything to me. I'm sure he's tweeting something now about it. So can't even face me after it. I'm pretty disappointed in the things that just went down. I used to look up to that guy.
Ooh, close. Wide into turn 4. That moves Kyle Busch all the way up the racetrack. He has to catch it before he gets to the wall. And Hornaday catches the wall.
Caution down, caution down.
Caution is going to come out. Both drivers trying to get by. Looked like the 17 of Timothy Peters. They slid up the racetrack, and now Kyle Busch not happy at all.
It's all good, dude.
And Kyle Busch is going to turn on 33 into the wall. Our championship contender, Hornaday, in the wall.
Well, Kyle Busch should be parked for this race and maybe the rest of the season for that.
Holy cow, I can't believe he did
Championship
that.
contender, Ron Hornaday, hard into the wall. Kyle Busch sends him in.
Oh, and look at this. Things heating up down here on the front straightaway. Ross Chastain being told not so happy with the way you drove.
Ryan Reed ended up in the wall in turns 3 and 4 on that last lap.
Yeah, the Ford just drove into us into one. Afterwards, he just said it was a green-white checkered, which I'm not sure what that means, because I've done a lot of green-white checkers, and it doesn't mean it's just a free-for-all and you go down there and dump somebody.
And Kenseth cleared by Logano. Maybe no. Kenseth takes him out. Logano into the wall. Caution comes out and the crowd roars. Helmets coming off of the crew members of the 20. And we have to remind you why this is happening.
Joey, stay in the car.
A couple races ago at Kansas, Matt Kenseth was leading. Joey Logano running second. You can tell how the fans feel about it. The red flag is out, as they will have to clean the track up. Couple. Matt Kenseth already not having the day that he wanted to have. And the opportunity presented himself. turn 2. Ryan Newman tried, and he finally dumped David Gilliland. Newman had hit him about 3 times before, and that was the charm out of turn 2.
But look who paid as big a price as Ryan Newman in the 39.
I'm not sure this fight's over with.
This went on for 3 straight laps. Newman trying to get by with the bumper. And Gilliland ended up.
What's the guy coming out of this 38 car? I think he might be a little ticked.
Would not be the least bit surprised.
He's trying to get out of his car. I know that.
Well, I know who I would be ticked at if I was in that 39 crew and he's getting out of the race car and he's going to go over and confront Mr. Newman.
Typical Martinsville stuff, you know, it's lap 50 and everybody's got to give and take on the racetrack and on pit road. And you know, the 5 car was pitted in the stall in front of me and he was at, you know, whatever struggles he had earlier in the race, had to come in. And I saw him checking up and I started to check up and I just barely got in the back of him. And then Kurt just accelerated and drove through us. Absolutely drove through us. I tell you, man, I'm about tired of his recklessness.
Here we go.
You think these 2 guys are looking for each other, or is that one guy looking for that other one? Or
Daryl, race drivers have longer memory than elephants.
I don't know. You look out the nose of that thing, you don't have one. You remember who did it?
Well, that's true.
I saw a hand coming out the left side window of that 2 car as well.
Yeah. You want by me? You may have to work a little bit.
This is going to get ugly here.
Here we go. And Brad jams on the brakes. Everybody stacks up. Now they're side by side, and it's on, heading for turn 3, and it's off again.
And here's Almirola up here. And then Brian Scott's coming up the hill, up the hill, up the hill. The 43 is going, and then it's hard to tell if the 43 got loose and had to get out of the gas a little bit.
Well,
we have an
onboard view.
Let's see what happened.
That shows Scott didn't make a rookie mistake. Almirola's problem.
That.
What happened?
That's the first chance I got to see the replay. It's pretty obvious what happened. The 33 was obviously a dart without feathers and come across the racetrack and run right into me. So it's a shame for our farmland team. Our Ford Fusion was getting a lot better. We didn't start off the race like we wanted to, but we had certainly gotten it a lot better. And, man, he just come from all the way at the bottom of the racetrack and run into me. It's just frustrating. You know, he's not even racing this series for points. He's out there having fun because his daddy gets to pay for it. And he wrecks us. You know, it's frustrating.
All torn up. Finished 12th. See, Danica's got damage. More damage than what she sustained in that previous caution. See what's happening to them here. While we were watching the race for the win, this happened. Whoops. Looks like Sam ran Danica out of room. Like that. I didn't think much of that. Disagreement here between Austin Dillon and Denny Hamilton, it looks like. We can't totally. Here we go. Denny Hamlin and 3 team. That is Danny Stockman there in the glasses. He's the crew chief for Austin Dillon. There's Ty Dillon in the mix as well, Austin's brother. And Jamie's right there, so let's find out what's this all about.
Well, Denny, you had some choice words there. Where exactly did that start? What happened?
Well, he's got to give room. That's why he always gets wrecked at Bristol and a couple other racetracks. First of all, he got his ride because of his name. Second of all, you got to take advantage of the opportunity. If he's points racing, you can't crowd a guy that's running. I'm on the bottom. I'm all the way to the apron. So I'm doing everything I can. Then after the checkered flag, he wants to run into me. So I run him into the fence. So Danny says, look, he ain't got to fix it. Well, maybe he needs to take his little ass over there and fix his race cars if he wants to keep wrecking. So he needs to learn a lesson.
All right, there's Denny's side of the story. Marty?
And very out. So he can, and especially, look out! More than that.
Yellowed out.
I think Brad's going to be happy about that one.
Just fast start finish here.
Race for second place.
See if you can get it cranked up rolling.
And 2 teams competing for the Owners' Championship. One of them's in the wall.
He basically just dumped him.
Certainly could have been avoided, no doubt about that.
They had a great race going on, but look.
Wow.
Pretty hard lick, but square on the back of the car.
Now, that is Brad walking directly toward Kyle Busch's pit.
Guys, use your head. Don't be silly. We don't drive the car. We just work on it. Be smart.
Well, a lot of emotion. Your thoughts the last lap and after the race?
I don't know. We had a really fast truck. Just got taken out. He hit me going into the second to last corner. Then he hit me again. So I don't know what else to do. But that's how it is, I guess.
I caught the 0-0 there, and we didn't wreck him for the win. Robin's racing, but if I would have been in the same spot, he would have done the same thing to me to get a win.
Now, I know Cole Custer was a little displeased with you there at the end. Do you plan on having a conversation with him after this?
No, we'll just kind of see where it goes. If we have a conversation, we will. If not, we won't.
Danica Patrick, Landon Castle tangled up. Castle going for a slide.
Okay, we did not hit anything. Did not hit anything.
It looked like Danica had a chance of not hitting anything, but just back up on the track.
Well, rule number one of stock car racing is learn how to wreck someone without wrecking yourself.
And I saw that. It kind of looked like Castle went into turn one ahead of Patrick, and maybe she thought she could make a move underneath him, and things didn't go like she wanted it to. Or maybe there's more to it. This is off turn 4.
Like gets clear there. And she gets in on the bumper, but just doesn't get off of him. Right there where you're talking, and you just turn it left and lock it down.
And she had a chance to not go up hit that wall. If she...
Aggressive goes around. That's right. Mark Truex Jr. spins.
There's a lot of contact on turn 7. Like the two got into the back of the 78. Mark Truex is not happy about it. And there was also contact further back with Allmendinger.
Hamlin grabs his first road course win of his career. And it's still not settled between the 78 and 2. Hand going out the window for Brad. And let's listen in what Brad had to say.
I think he was going to come up in front of me. Sorry, Mark.
Kind of rough up the 11. I wanted to be outside to make a crossover, see if I couldn't get both. And at the last minute, he came back up when I was already committed. That's my fault. Luckily, with the way this chase is, I know he probably won't hear it. Doesn't hurt you too bad, but all in all, just another one of those Watkins Glen crazy days.
Oh, he said it was his fault. I said I knew that. Simple as that.
Tony Stewart getting up and against Kurt Busch.
A lot of emotion here, a lot of temper, a lot of emotion.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of aggression.
This is typical Richmond.
Yep.
This little deal here, it's not over.
Opinions expressed out on the racetrack carried over here in the garage. And Kurt, your conversation between yourself and Tony Stewart, what took place?
We'll get to that in a minute. I mean, for us, this was a solid run with our Furniture Row car.
Got one on a wall up here. Up high.
Martin Truex Jr. caution flag is out.
Yellow's out.
And that changes everything. Hit the big reset button on it all. We're not done yet. Martin Truex Jr. and then Kyle Busch involved in this one, and that's rather interesting appearing.
Looks like it was Martin Truex. Well, they may have had some contact earlier. And later. What that's all about.
Well, certainly bizarre circumstances with Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. there. And I agree with your statement, altering the outcome of this race. Still trying to figure out what happened between Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. to set that incident off that brought out the caution flag.
Hell was that for? He just dumped you, man. I don't know.
And as I suspected there might be, there's Martin Truex Jr. around the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Yeah, Kyle Busch's car is down here in the garage, and Martin Truex Jr. came into his window net. They were having a fairly heated conversation. No blows were thrown.
Much knew somebody was going to get in somebody's way, and you see Jimmy Johnson, who qualified back there in 17th, going to have a little conversation with Darrell Wallace Jr. But guys, I just don't see how anybody can be mad at anybody. They're the ones that waited.
Yeah, right. And I promise you, this is not the only conversation happening. Here we see it. See the 43, then the 48. The 34 is back there. The 10 was involved in this, too. There was just a train of cars. Vince?
With Jimmy Johnson, and certainly frustrated. What was the conversation there with Bubba?
It's just circumstantial. I mean, we let the track sit green for 6 minutes and then tried to cram 24 cars out there in 4 minutes. I thought I managed a good gap off of pit road, and then I was just trying to find out from him what happened. He had a good gap in front of him, and then he checked up for whatever reason, and then I was on him and ran in his wake around here. So I was just trying to understand the circumstances. So frustrating on a couple different notes, but we're much better than where we qualified at 17th or whatever it is, and we'll just go to work tomorrow.